Hey guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be doing polymer clay, but it's going to be sort of a crochet slash polymer clay tutorial. I'm going to be covering my handles of my crochet hooks with polymer clay. So what you will need for this project is some polymer clay. And if you've never worked with polymer clay, because you might be just a crocheter and you saw these cute, handles and you want to try to make them, polymer clay is a type of clay that you can put in the oven and it goes hard. So the brands are usually Sculpey, Primo, or Fimo, and you can get them at Michael's. So you can just ask them for some polymer clay. And they come in many, many different colors. And today I'm going to be working with a neon pink and a like a lime green, but it's actually called granny apple green or green apple. I'm not sure. It's from Sculpey though. So very bright green. So we're going to work on the spiral pattern first. And it's very easy. You don't have to be perfect. It doesn't this is actually my first time doing it. So it was kind of a test run, but it kind of worked out at the same time. So you're just going to take both colors and make a flat sheet. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make it about the same thicknesses. And I am using a rolling pin. This is actually a fondant rolling pin for baking, but I've chose to use it for my my clay. So now I'm just going to lay the two clays together, and I'm going to slice one side of it just to give it a nice clean edge, and then I'm going to roll it up. And we're essentially going to be making a cane. And a cane is basically something that has the decoration all the way through it, and then you can cut slices, and then you will see the decoration in the slices. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut the other side of it so that it also has a clean edge, and then I can start cutting into it. So don't be mad at me because this is actually my first time using my autofocus and I had a little bit of difficulties with it, as you can see in some parts of the clip. But anyways, so I showed you the spiral pattern inside of it. So I just put the cane down onto my table and I just rolled it with my hands, and that made the clay basically come together more so that I know that the spiral is fused together. So now I'm just going to slice up some of the pieces, and I've done it about a millimeter in thickness, and I'm getting my crochet hook. It doesn't matter what size crochet hook, I'm just happen to be using my 8mm, and I'm going to very roughly, with no, well, I'm kind of doing a pattern because I just don't want it to be symmetrical, so I'm just scattering them and making them offset so they're not all in a perfect line. So I'm just going to cover the whole entire handle of the crochet hook. I've chosen not to go above the part where you put your fingers, but some people do, some people like that, but I just chose not to do this because this is my first time actually doing this, so I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. Okay, so now you see lots of holes and gaps, which is totally okay because now we're going to roll it on the table, and that will push all of the spirals and fill in those gaps. So as you can see, they're starting to slowly fuse together. And then you're going to go back with your hands and you're going to just smooth out some edges and bring, some holes together and make sure everything is nice. And see, I put one spiral on the back of it. So I'm just going to make it nice. And then I went and got my blade. And this is actually a clay blade that I got from the clay section. But you can use, regular straight blades or X-Acto knives. You don't have to go out and buy the fancy tools if you don't want to. Especially if you're just going to be doing this for a couple crochet hooks and then, move on. Okay, so now basically you're just going to go according to your package instructions and bake your whole entire crochet hook. Which, when you go to take it out, make sure you use oven mitts because your crochet hook will be so hot you will not be able to touch it. Probably hotter than the actual clay. Okay, so now I'm working on my next one. So I've taken a ball of purple clay, and it kind of looks navy blue, but it is actually like a royal purple. And I made it into sort of a square shape, and I'm going to cut slices into it. And then I'm going to be taking some pink clay, and I'm just cutting slices of pink clay, and I'm going to be putting those in between those cuts on the big purple block of clay that I initially made. So I'm basically going to be making like a big sandwich. So I'm just trimming off some of the excess, which is not necessary. And then I'm just going to pat it down with my fingers and make everything nice and smooth. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't, it doesn't matter. The messier, the more interesting it will look in the end. So, just have fun with it. So the next step we are going to do is we are going to take our blade and we are going to cut straight across, like in a diagonal. So from corner to corner, and then I'm going to put another piece of the pink clay, and then I flipped the other half of the cube, and now it sort of looks like a leaf. So this is actually the leaf technique. So if you use greens, then it would probably actually look like a leaf. But because I used purple and pink, it doesn't really resemble a leaf, but this is basically what I'm doing. And now I'm going to take some blue just for interest, just because I just chose those colors, and wrap it around the whole entire thing. I'm just cleaning up my edges and I'm attaching more. And then this was basically going to be my cane again. So like we did before, we had a log, sort of. This time I'm actually going to take this piece and I'm going to make it longer. So I'm going to stretch it out slowly while trying to maintain the shape of the leaf. So normally, if you do something like this, you could potentially roll it on the table and make it longer. But because, like I said, it's like a different shape, I have to slowly do it and manipulate it with my hands to try to stretch it out and make it longer. So this can take a couple minutes, so just take your time and, don't rush it. So once you get it to your desired length or size, then you can, call it quits and then start slicing into it. So I'm just going to cut off the end bit to expose a nice clean slice. And then I'm going to start cutting my slices. So like I said before, try to go with maybe 1 to 2 millimeters. And then you can grab your hook and start arranging them onto your hook. So I kind of wanted this to be like a flower type. It doesn't really look like a flower, but I just chose to put it in this type of pattern with it sort of in a flower shape. And I think it came out kind of pretty. It's interesting. It's different. I tried to get away from the whole marbled, just take your clays and then mash them together and then, oh, look at what you found. I wanted to look like I actually tried something interesting. Okay, so now I'm just taking my blade and I'm just trimming the top there to make it a nice clean edge. And there we have it. So I put them both in the oven for 20 minutes at 265 or something like that. And yeah, so from here I chose to not glaze them, and I have a very fine grit sandpaper, and it is like, I think like 2000 or something like that. It's so fine that you have to actually do it with water or it won't do anything. So I just found that on eBay, but you can use glaze. But yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I think it's kind of fun, and I hope that I taught you something new, and maybe you can go and try it. And if you do, please hashtag me, Charmed by Ashley, and follow me on all my social media so we can stay in touch. And check out my crochet videos if you're a crocheter, and check out my other polymer clay videos if you are a polymer clay creator. So don't forget to hit that like button, and thanks so much for watching. Bye guys!